If you smell what the prez is cooking. Think he could use that as his tagline? If you smell what the prez is cooking. You think when he wins, he could come out instead of dun, 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 dun. He could come out to, do you smell what the Rock is cooking? He goes up to the podium, smells it, takes it all in. We've all joked about this, right? The Rock running for president. The Rock should be president, LOL. Even Rogan said it. They always joke The Rock should be president and Oprah should be his vice president. So much so that this was even a concept for the Young Rock show, where The Rock was, the whole premise of it was The Rock was sitting down with a journalist telling his life story on the campaign trail running for president. Well, I would say The Rock dropped some very significant knowledge in this particular clip here from the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, where he talks about them, the shadowy them of one of the two parties. You know the two, the D-Dogs, the R-Dogs, those guys. One of those two parties, and I have a pretty good idea which one, I'm sure you do too, approached The Rock and said, what do you think about running for president? And hold on before you answer. What if we told you from all of this data that we siphoned from Facebook and Twitter that you would actually win if we ran you as president? No shit. Check out this clip.
Well, that's why I wonder where are the call for leaders? You know what I mean? Like where? I mean, it's a big question, but
nobody really wants to be president. It's fucking, they crawl up your ass with a microscope.
Dude,
it's not fun. They've talked about you being president.
Dude, I know.
I remember at one point in time, it was like they were saying it should be The Rock and Oprah. They should be president and vice president.
Dude, so one of the parties came to visit me.
Oh, no.
At the end of last year, asking for me to run.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, it was...
For president?
For president.
Wow.
It was, first of all, incredibly fucking surreal.
Right.
Because I was the guy, you know, who was wrestling in flea markets years ago, looking for free corn dogs and hot dogs and shit, selling my headshots for $5, trying to make money, and then all of a sudden I'm having that conversation. But no, it was just incredibly surreal and so wild, but also so incredible that they had all this data that they had said, if this happens, here's the result. And,
wow.
It was really fucking deep. And then I started to think, again, surreal, because that's never been my goal, right? I appreciate it, and I'm fucking honored, right? Because I'm like you in here, in our core, right? But it made me think, it's either this is an incredible thing, and I got some pretty decent leadership skills, or things are so fucked up.
They're turning into the pro wrestler movie star. They try to run the world.
Man.
Think we'd get him calling Kim Jong-un a jabroni? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think him and Rogan talked some politics on this show, and I was a little bit worried for The Rock because we're in this big cancel culture, right? You can't just come out and say how you feel about things. Can't let that kind of shit out. They'll eat you alive, especially if you're running for president or you're a big Hollywood movie star. The Rock is already kind of experiencing that. The Rock was Teflon for a long, long time. Everything he touched turned to gold. Everybody loved The Rock. And now all of a sudden, Rock's starting to get hate, right? He got into it with DC over the Black Adam thing. The Rock was pitching this whole he wanted to basically kind of take over the DC universe and put him and as Black Adam and Superman up at the top of it. You see the cat hair flying around. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. And he got in a little bit of beef with the Hollywood studios, and they're kind of mad at him and stuff. So he's falling out of favor with people a little bit. And he's kind of one of those people that have done the live long enough to become the villain thing, you know? Die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. Not that I want The Rock to die, but people are turning on him nowadays. So him running for president, oof, in this divisive world, that's a huge risk. And he was trying to tiptoe around the political, Rogan was kind of just giving his unedited, unfiltered thoughts on the Israeli-Palestine situation over there. And Rock just kind of had to go, yeah, it's heartbreaking, man. Yeah, man, it's heartbreaking over there. What do you say when you're The Rock? But he did kind of ask, and it was what led to that clip was, he's like, who has a plan? Who's stepping up to try to settle this shit? Because Rock, and rightfully so, at this point, I think a lot of people are at least on a slight edge that, World War III could just kind of fall out of some president's ass at any point in time now. We're close. This was like what it was like in the Cuban Missile Crisis. Maybe not that bad, but people are feeling it. Conflict. Tensions are rising, and there's no clear out. So The Rock was he's like, how do we, what's the end of this? This is frightening. And he's like, where are the leaders that want to fix this? Where Rogan very accurately pointed out that the people in politics are bought and paid for by big corporations. That's where all their funding comes from, and those are the agendas that they serve. They are there to serve the machine, to make the monies for the machine. Fuck the people. I think, and I had this debate with a buddy, that when I was kind of trying to pitch The Rock, it's like, okay, I think The Rock would be great. I was like, hear me out. I know The Rock. I don't know him personally. We've never hung out. We've never clanged and banged and pumped weights or anything like that together. But never drank a protein shake. But look, man, I grew up with The Rock on my TV. I grew up with hearing The Rock talk. I grew up with hearing people talk about The Rock, hearing behind-the-scenes stories about The Rock, reading people's books where they write about working with The Rock, seeing The Rock in Hollywood, hearing Hollywood people talk about working with The Rock. Not a goddamn bad thing to be said about the guy anywhere. I think he got into some heat over the Hawaii gimmick over there too recently, but again, that's an example of you live long enough to become the villain. People are turning on him now. I mean, Zoa's really good though, dude. Zoa's like top. It's got to be like my top 3 energy drinks, right? G Fuel's up there. Zoa's good shit. Give Zoa a try if you haven't given Zoa a try. It's very nice, but I mean, I think The Rock could do the job. I think, look, to save the world, to answer that question very specifically, we need a uniter. We need a great uniter. Preferably one that's not going to get the old, the old Kennedy haircut. You know what I'm saying? They got to get somebody that can come in and unite the country, and that nobody's going to be able to do a goddamn thing about it because they're too high profile. Nobody's going to give Dwayne The Rock Johnson a Kennedy haircut for he doesn't even have hair to start with. Plus, he'll be dropping people's elbows on like Putin and shit. That's what I'm saying. But really, no, I think Rogan astutely said we need somebody that goes in with a true like heart and kindness and like empathy and has the right intentions. And those kind of people don't get into politics. Even as far back as that, I don't remember the name of the movie off the top of my head, but Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. That's what it was. If you guys ever watched that movie, there's a guy goes to what he's a politician or some shit, or I don't know, he's working either for a politician or becomes like a senator, a congressman or something. And he goes there and he has this real good do-gooder, I'm going to change the world. And he gets there and he realizes it's a giant shit show. And this was back in the black and white movie days, folks. But we need a great uniter, and I think the great one could be the great uniter. I really do. I think he would win, too. And the fact that one of the parties came to him and the Democrats told him that, hey, if we ran you as president, you would win the fucking presidency, bro. You'd win the whole shits. We have all the numbers right here. Look at this shit. Got it printed right off of Meta. We siphoned everybody's information and we were able to decipher for you that people think you'd probably win. People would vote for you. We would like to run you as president, which I got a whole nother batch of questions. If it was the D's, why are they trying to, he said that was last year. So why are they trying to run Dwayne for this election? Isn't our leader, our fearless leader, running again? This is only term one. Come on, man. Maybe it was the other team. Maybe they're like, hey, we need somebody that has more charisma, more likability with the people than Trump. We got somebody that we can win over all those fuckers with with the charismatic. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, and it's funny because Rogan also kind of had a laugh that the world is on the brink of World War III, and everybody's last hope is the Hollywood actor pro wrestler guy, which is straight out of the movie Idiocracy, where Camacho was a pro wrestler and he's the president. It's hilarious. But we are in that world now with Trump being president, and even Reagan before that was an actor. So it's not, Zelensky over in Ukraine was an actor. So not trying to make this a big political thing, but the topic of the conversation is The Rock for president. You didn't click on this to learn about how he learned the fucking people's elbow, right? We're learning about The Rock running for president. So shut the fuck up. I think The Rock would do great if he has pure of heart. If he's bought and paid for by one of these fucking Hollywood corporation elite motherfuckers or something, then we got a problem. We need a great uniter. We need somebody to come in and say, I hear you. Enough. We need to stand together. And you got to find that common cause. And I think The Rock is the personality to do it because everybody likes The Rock. How can you not like a guy like The Rock? But then there's other questions too, like Rogan. And I think Rock was like, whether he's considering it or not, or will ever consider it, is up for debate. But Rogan also said, like, look, man, that's a hard job. Like, you are the guy that has to make the call to do like a drone strike on a target that may have some civilian casualties. In fact, for a fact there will probably be a couple civilian casualties. But it's worth it in the greater effort to knock off this one guy who's going to kill thousands of people. It's the old excuse me. It's the old train track gimmick, right? Where there's, a whole family tied to one track and then just one person tied to the other, and you got the lever. What you gonna do, brother? Either way, somebody's getting. It's a bad decision either way, and the president needs to make those kind of choices. I don't know if The Rock's that kind of guy. I don't know if he can dig that deep to really be that guy. I don't know if I could. It's not a challenge. It's not saying I don't think you're man enough. I just think, fuck, it takes a special kind of just, you're either a heartless, soulless, corrupt fucking corporate puppet, or you, oof. That's why these people go gray. That's why every president goes gray after office. It wears on you. But I don't know, man. The Rock for president, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I gotta say he'd probably get my vote. I'd give him a try, see what he does. I'd be afraid that he would get corrupted. If not corrupted, just misled because he's new. And let me show you how it works around here, Dwayne, and kind of carry him off and kind of get in his ear and teach him all the little dirty stuff. But if he could keep that moral compass, keep some good advisors, keep his head on the straight and narrow, I do think there's a possibility we live in a world where Dwayne The Rock Johnson, clearly in a parallel universe at this point, The Rock is president or will be president or something like that, right? Because if he was approached with that option, the laws of parallel universes where everything can happen at the same time, if you believe in that kind of shit, then somewhere in an alternate timeline, fucking The Rock is president. Maybe we're in that timeline. Who knows? I'll leave it there. But, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do not get political in my comments. Don't start talking about policies. Don't start bickering or talking shit or my blah, 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 blah. I don't care. It's not about that. Strictly, keep it to The Rock as president. Do you think he could handle it? Do you think he'd be a good president? Would you vote for The Rock for president? Or is it a complete and total joke? Did you listen to the Joe Rogan Experience podcast this week? All 3 hours of it. What'd you think of it? If you did, I thought it was a fun conversation, though I think all of Rogan's podcasts tend to inevitably veer into the, hunting and MMA and cars and supplements and weight training and politics and government shit, and that's fine. I mean, that's what everybody talks about around the table, but it's funny. I don't know, 3 hours, you gotta take it in portions, but that's it. That's all I got for you. Peace, love, and pizza. I'm your boy Seth Grimes. Hit that subscribe button down below, and we will catch you in the next video. Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.